life could have given much more than they bargained for. Life could have paid them. It was like they were like laborers who had done some work. And it's there in the Bible, the laborers who go out, and then, you'd realize that life could have yielded much more than what we get. And so that's where the second thing, after we're clear, and we continue to be clear about our vision, is what are we going to do to make it happen? When we talk about the power of a focused life, it suggests that there are distractions. There are distractions that can, or spanners that can be thrown in our way, and we are not able, to fully embrace or fully realize, birth that vision. So the second thing we're going to do, again, after we've written, the vision of our future, and like the 3 words, for those who can write 3 sentences, you can have 3 words, is that we look and we ask ourselves, ask yourself this question, what will prevent me from getting to this future or achieving that vision? I hope we're still with me. I'm trying to make it a bit interactive, and so that we can also take something back home that we can, use to remind ourselves that we have something we're working, towards. Thank you. I see the thumbs up. Thank you very much. So I think right now, let's just write what are just 3 things, not too many things. What are the things that can derail us from that vision right now that or in the future can prevent you from getting to that, achieving that vision? I'm also writing mine, so I'm not here to just talk, and I'm also writing mine. It could be 3, it could be habits, it could be words, it could be attitude, it could, whatever it is, 3 things that you believe might hinder this. Okay, so we're back. Let me ask, is anyone that all that they wrote is outside themselves? If there's anyone, please unmute. So all the distractions are totally outside you. Maybe the 3 or the 4 distractions that you wrote. Hello, am I alone here?
You are not.
You're
Okay,
not.
so is there anyone whose distractions are totally outside themselves, as in they're not related to you, they're related to other people or other situations? Is there anyone? Okay, so let me ask it like this. Is there anyone whose distractions are within themselves? Okay, Chibuzo,
Yes.
you raised your hand.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, so Chibuzo, are you saying, okay, Sabina, Bukola, so I would agree, I would say, is it safe to say that a lot of us here, our distractions are within us?
Yes.
So, yes, okay.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
good.
Yes. Under
Yeah, you know the reason why I asked us the
Yes.
same. My own too, my distractions are within me. And the reason is just to show ourselves that for us to live or lead a focused life, an intentional life, it is entirely up to us. It is, I tell you, 85 to 90%, if not 95% of the time, it is up to us. And what that means is that as we aspire towards a focused life, then we begin to ask ourselves, what are we willing to put in to achieve this vision? Because yes, I can come here and talk about and talk about Bible verses. I can come here and preach and all of that. But I don't think that's it. I think it's about us knowing that, you see, the power to live the focused life lies in us. lies in us totally. I put something down for myself, better planning. Nobody's going to plan for me. I'm the one that will plan for myself. And I'm the one who will do it better. And so that means living or leading a focused life is not beyond us. It's about how we decide to be, I call it brutally honest with ourselves in identifying those things that may prevent us, and also in going the whole 9 yards. And so now we see our distractions. Some of them solely lie within us to say that, look, I just have to maybe wake up early. I just have to sleep less. It's amazing what those distractions can be. I have to, get more knowledge. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to be stronger when it comes to my faith. I have to, do much more for God. There could be, but a lot of it is about I have to. And so why is it that it's not easy for us to do some of these things? At times it is fear. Some people just say, I know I can't do it. Let me just live. Well, the life I'm living is okay. I'm not aspiring beyond this, blah, blah, blah. That's fear. For some people, it's just that, look, I can't be bothered. I once met a lady who told me, you know what, all those things you people talk about aspiring, having aspirations and doing all of that in life, she's not interested. She's just okay with whatever life throws at her. So we started talking. We went to secondary school together and we met years later. And I asked her a few questions. And I told her, I said, you know what? Clearly you have, she now realized that she was very ambitious because she was the head of legal in her office. And she said, you know what, Odoye, people should leave me. All this, you're trying to get people better and all of that. I don't aspire towards it. So we cast our minds back and we walked the journey together again. And I asked her, I said, but do you know that all the while, for you to get to where you are, it's because you were, you had you believed that there was a lot more to you than where you were at that time. And so you kept growing. And she looked back and realized that the truth is she always had a vision. There was a fire burning in her to become, better. And so we've identified our distractions. What are we willing to commit? Like I said, I can come here, talk about this, talk about that. But a lot of it lies within us. And no matter what we're told, no matter, what we get from outside, is what comes from inside of us that endures, is what comes from inside of us, that's why passion is not external to us. It's from here. The fire burns from in here because you are central to achieving and living an intentional life, for yourself and fulfilling, purpose. And so now that we know the distractions, I'd like us to write 3 commitments that we're willing to make. 3 commitments that says, you know what, I've told you, I wrote down that I need to plan better. So what are 3 commitments I'm willing to make? And I'll tell you why we're talking about the commitment. The commitment is me saying, look, Odunayo, I'm going to do A, B, C. And within this community or another community I belong to, getting resources to be able to help me to deliver, on that, to achieve what I've stated. So I'd like us to write 3 commitments. We now know the distractions that can prevent us from getting to that vision. What are the 3 things that you believe that you must do, that I believe I must do to get, to that? So I'll just give us like 4 minutes and then to write that. I hope I'm communicating with people. I hope I'm not taking you totally off Thank
Not
you.
at
I
all.
see the I see the thumbs up. And please, let's be very deliberate about it, because it's a commitment we're making to ourselves and to God. So please we're not going to ask you to show it, but be honest with yourself. Okay. So I believe that we have listed out, 3 commitments that we will, actively engage in. And as we're writing, my mind was telling me that some of us are, and I say us, I'm not I'm not exempting myself, neither am I an exception. We're already scared at what we, what we've written, to say that we're committing ourselves. Are we going to be able to do, this? But I tell you, I'd like you to be be comfortable with fear. And I'll tell you, yeah, I know we're all Christians, and the first thing is that there are God knows how many fear nots in the Bible. Do you know why God put fear not? Because God knows we will be afraid. And so I tell people, I say, you see, fear is energy. Faith is also energy. And so when we talk about our emotions, we're simply talking about energy that is in motion in us. And so whenever we are fearful, that is the time. Acknowledge it. Don't dwell with it, but acknowledge it and convert it to faith. And what do I mean? I permit me to go to science school. They told us that atoms cannot be, they're indivisible. They can only change form. You can't destroy it. Not indivisible. It's indestructible. It can only change form. Therefore, the same with our fears. Let your fear work for you, not against you. So what do I mean by your fear working for you? Commit to it anyway. But let your fear be converted to faith. And how do you do that? And let me tell you something. If the vision you wrote down for yourself doesn't scare you, you have not written any vision. Our big picture must scare us. Our visions must scare us, because God is the Almighty, and there's nothing, that He can't do. And so for me, that vision must scare you. And that, when I say scare you, that's the fear. The first thing is that how will these things be? But it's not by you. You've identified, the distractions. Now you've written down the commitments. A lot might need to shift with us. And like I will say it again, the reason I've taken this approach is that nobody is going to, it doesn't happen outside of us. It happens from within us. And so at times I recall one time I told myself I needed to surround myself with people that were better than me. Because at a point I just woke up and I found out that it looked like I was in a circle that, in quote, I was the best, which is very dangerous. And then I began to, enlist other people into what we call, some of us, call it our inner circle. And so it might be that you need to walk away from relationships. Maybe that's the certain relationships, not everything. Maybe that's the commitment you've made and you're already scared. How do I, do this? But like I said, that fear you have to convert into faith. How do you do that? When you say you can't, you remind yourself you can. When you think you won't, you remind yourself, I'm able to do these things. And when we do that, we begin to see that our commitment level to ourselves is rising. Another way to achieve the commitment is write down your vision. Make it plain. Make it plain. Remind yourself every morning. Keep it somewhere in your place. A lot of people keep stuff on their fridges.